Okay, how is everybody doing this evening? Of course, my name is Kent. The channel is EOS Bitcoin San Diego. And we are in San Diego, California, as the name explains. And it is August 6th at about 10:45 p.m. in the evening here in San Diego, California. And of course, I talk about the blockchain. I talk about cryptocurrencies. And I talk about things that have to do with the blockchain and cryptocurrencies. But tonight, what I want to do is I want to talk about Cardano. I want to talk about Charles Hoskinson. I want to talk about this guy because I want to show you some stuff that I think you need to know. I want to be the person. Somebody says I'm getting like bitter, that I'm upset that maybe something didn't work out well for us and has worked out for somebody else. I'm venting on people like Charles Hoskinson. I'm venting on Vitalik Buterin. I'm venting on these people, and somehow that I'm being mean, and that my tone has changed, my attitude has changed. But what's really changed about this whole thing is that what I'm seeing, the more I dig into this, is that more people need to know what's really going on, and that's what I'm here to tell you, what's really going on. And I'm going to do it through Charles and Vitalik's own words, and take a look at this market and give you some perspective on it from somebody that's had a lot of experience. First of all, let's just take a look at the market today, because the market is doing pretty well. First, let's get to the right screen. I got to come back here to my live, go back here. Come on, get up to the live screen here. Hold on. I got to get myself out of the view and get to my browser. Okay, there we go. So here we are. Let's take a look at the cryptocurrencies today, because they did pretty well today. Let's move this out. Let's make this bigger. There we go. So we got Bitcoin is up big over the last few days. I think it was 39,000 the other day. Now it's 43. Of course, Ethereum up big, getting close to my last buy-in, which was 3,500. I'm still $500, $600 down from the last time I bought some Ethereum. So yeah, I'd like to see it get back to where I was at before. Cardano, our friend that we're going to talk about tonight, Charles Hoskinson, up big, $46 billion. $46 billion, and he hasn't launched a chain yet. Amazing. That's what we want to talk about tonight. And of course, XRP, we're still in a lot of litigation. Dogecoin, it's coming back to 21 cents. I'd like to see it come back to at least 31, which is where I bought it at. So anyway, let's talk a little bit. The only reason I buy Deutsche is because I just want to keep track of it. Not that I believe in Deutsche, because I think it's a joke, just like these others, or some of them are jokes. And the thing that I want to tell people is that I'm not anti cryptocurrency. I'm not anti-blockchain. I'm not anti-Vitalik or Charles or any of these other people. I just want it to work. There's a lot of money and a lot of capital wrapped up in their ideas, and I want them to do something. I want them to actually produce something for all that people have given them, because that's what we need. We really need it, and we do need it. We need it desperately. We really desperately need the decentralized finance to work. We can't have 10 transactions per second, 20 transactions per second. We need a fast solution blockchain that's going to run lots of transactions. And the reason we need it is because we need a trusted third party to run all financial services. We cannot run it through the banks and governments anymore, and through the traditional fiat currency analog systems, because they're not keeping up. They're not unlocking the potential of what the world has to offer right now. We've got so much equity wrapped up in so many things. People are just like, well, let's say you own a piece of real estate. Real estate's really appreciated lately. Try to get a loan against that piece of real estate. Go to a bank and get a second mortgage, or get some sort of additional mortgage onto your mortgage. See how difficult that is to unlock. Very difficult. When you go through the screening process of the banks, you have to have first of all, never had any blemish on your credit report, have good credit, have a bank that wants to lend you money, negotiate an interest rate, then go through all the processes to make sure all the back taxes have been paid, and there's nobody out there in the world that has any kind of lien against your property. And it just takes months, sometimes years, just to get a simple mortgage on a piece of property, so that you can join this incredible increase in equity, or increase in the valuation of what's going on right now in property. And the reason why everything's going up, including lumber, commodities, property, is because we're in a world right now where the government is printing money. They're shutting down the economy on one side with COVID and all the restrictions and all the things. Now we're going to be going into carbon, the carbon footprint, and making sure that we don't release too much carbon, we don't make too much waste, too much pollution. They'll restrict businesses in that respect, and they'll also restrict businesses because of disease, because of viruses like COVID. At the same time, they have to make it up by giving people money so that people can survive while they're shutting down the economy. So people are getting unemployment. People are getting stimulus checks. That means there's more money being created by centralized governments. As the centralized government starts to create more money, there's very little opportunity in the real world. So people are fleeing towards things that are going to be more, that are going to increase and improve in value, that is going to allow their money to grow with the amount of money that's being created. And cryptocurrencies is about one of the few places you can do that. You can't do that in the stock market. You can't do that in traditional investments. Like I said, it's very hard to borrow money for a piece of property. It's very hard to borrow money against your business or anything like that. It's hard to hire people because the fact that the money has been inflated. The cost of getting people to work for you is much more expensive. Even like a guy like Michael Saylor, who's MicroStrategies, his way of improving or increasing his the value of his company was to invest in the high-flying tech stocks, not to create something new or come up with some new valuable thing that he does for MicroStrategies, but to invest in other things. And that's why he bought Bitcoin, because he has to keep up with how much is going away in the meantime. So, it's going away at a 15-20% rate. If you can't make that up in your business, you can't afford to be in business. If you got to pay employees 15-20% more every year because of government increase in stimulus and government increase in payments, you can't afford to keep paying them 20% more if your business isn't making 20% more. So people are going to the cryptocurrency. So we're in a big transition, and either you're going to join the cryptocurrencies and keep up, or you're going to be not join, and you're going to end up going backwards and impoverishing yourself and your family. So please get involved with the Bitcoins, get involved with these cryptocurrencies. And the reason I make this video tonight is because I want people that have invested in these cryptocurrencies to get their money's worth. I want DeFi to start to work. I want people like Charles Hoskinson to quit sitting around with all the money that he's accumulated and basically keep saying, I'm going to release it, I'm going to release it, I'm going to release it, never does. Ethereum sitting around with all the money, the capital, the brain power that they have accumulated. They're going to release 2.0, and they never do. So this tired, worn out story that we've been getting for 5, 6, 7 years is starting to get to me. And that's why I make these videos. I make this video for that reason. Not because I'm mad, not because I'm irritated, just because I want somebody to follow through and do what it is they said they were going to do when they initially raised the ICO money for these projects. So anyway, let's go to Charles Hoskinson. And actually, let me pull a video up of him. Right here, this video. And for reference point, this video was 2017. We are now 2021. So this video is what, 7, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, almost 5 years old, 4 or 5 years old. So this is what, and actually, let's go back to first. Let's talk about Charles Hoskinson. His big claim to fame is the fact that he was a co-founder of Ethereum. So he and Vitalik Buterin apparently work together. But if you listen to him, especially in this video with Lex Clips, he'll say he barely even knows Vitalik. So let's go back. I want to hear him tell it in his own words, his relationship with Vitalik Buterin. Here we go. Okay. Once again, I do this every time, so bear with me. You know what I'm going to have to do? I have to change my preferences again. Oh my gosh. Sounds. Internal speakers. There we go. Now let's go back to Charles Hoskinson, which I can never pronounce his name right. Somebody keeps reminding me that. So here we go.
So pleasant and enjoyable. Tell us all about it. And tell us about your relationship with Vitalik. It's like I barely talk to the guy. I see him every now and then. Like every 2 years we say, hey, he says, hey. It's like, okay.
So if you really listen to this whole interview, basically what he says is he really didn't have much to do with Vitalik. It was a small 6-month period of time where they spent together when they were working on this. And, very casual relationship, doesn't really even know him that well, says hey every now and then. So really, there wasn't much to his Ethereum experience, according to him. There wasn't much to it. And of course, he's irritated by the fact that he's even asked about it. This is the guy's only claim to fame, is involved in with Ethereum. And Ethereum, to some extent, has been successful simply because it was able to launch a lot of other projects to the ERC20 token. So there was some success there. And that's it. After that, it died. Everything that's been built on it since then hasn't been able to function at scalable speeds or live up to its expectations. But at least it was successful up to that point. And it came up with the idea of a smart contract being on the blockchain, which was, an idea, a novel idea at the time. So for that reason only, and he's linked to Vitalik, that's why he's worth billions of dollars. And that's why he has a project worth that has a market cap of over $42 billion or $46 billion right now, is because of this relationship that he wants to distance himself from, that he doesn't even want to talk about, and claims it was casual, barely knows the guy, wave at him here and there. That's about all they do, know of each other. So anyway, let's go back to the whiteboard. So I want to start here with 130 because that's where he starts talking. Actually, no, let's go back to 105 because that's when he actually introduces this thing pretty well. And I want you to understand what he's doing, because he sets up the problem very well. What's going on? Here we go.
After just a few years, Bitcoin not only accrued thousands of users, but also started being worth real money. Tokens went from less than a penny to actually $1.
Okay, there you go. So Bitcoin being very successful. Can you imagine buying tokens for less than a penny or $1 or less than $10? Now that they're worth $43,000 and at one time close to 60 or over 60,000. So here we go. Yeah, I'm done with that clip. So that clip is over with. So let's go back here. Let's keep going here with Mr. Charles.
To eventually $100. And right around that time period, we saw a huge influx of people saying, boy, this is really interesting. However, the issue is that the transaction between Alice and Bob.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it because I just want to explain what he's doing. So the blockchain, Bitcoin, there was a transaction. There was a third party involved that was trusted, but was anonymous to the transaction and didn't know any of the details of the transaction, which is the blockchain. So the blockchain is overseeing this transaction, but the blockchain doesn't have a vested interest or any kind of interest in this transaction, which makes it anonymous, which makes it good, which makes it trusted. That's why it's called the trusted third party. And he's talking about that right now. But they added something. Then they said, well, we want to know the rest of the story. One of the reasons why the blockchain, like Bitcoin, is so well trusted is because it is anonymous to the transaction, and it is anonymous to, and doesn't have any kind of interest, any kind of financial interest in the transaction going on. But there was an added thing going on that you could add some information to the blockchain, basically called a smart contract, which allows it to not only be a trusted third party with the change of value, with values changing back and forth, but with also other information, which is what I'm talking about now. Being able to release equity in real estate, being able to do supply chain, be able to do so many other things. They started to realize this and figure it out. And he's going to talk about that right now.
Has more than just the act of moving money associated with it. There's a story behind that trend.
Okay, there's a story behind that. Just not the act of moving money. Bitcoin's just the act of moving money. But there's actually a story behind that act of moving money. And we want to be able to add that story to the blockchain. So here we go. Now that's called a smart contract.
There's terms and conditions.
Okay, he just used a legal term. I don't know if he knows that or not, but terms and conditions. The definition of a contract is terms and conditions with consideration. Consideration being some sort of value. So you can't have a contract without value. Value could be money or could be anything else. Could be performance, could be anything. But you got to have performance, terms, and conditions with consideration. That's the legal definition of a contract. So he just used basically the legal definition of a contract, terms and conditions. Here we go.
For example, what if Alice says to Bob, I'll give you the money if and only if you mow my lawn?
See, there you go. Give you money for consideration, give you consideration, which is money, for performance, which is mowing the lawn, and the terms and conditions, maybe on a certain date at a certain time. We can attach that to the blockchain. And not only and we can make sure that those terms and conditions get fulfilled. That's called a smart contract. That is an amazing evolution to the blockchain. And that's why smart contract, and that's why a guy like Max Kaiser gets completely wiped off the map with his idea everything is a shitcoin except for Bitcoin. Because there's another part of this whole thing, just like saying gold is the only money in the world. That's like what Max Kaiser. Only gold is money. Only Bitcoin is money. We're not going to use Bitcoin, or we're not going to use this blockchain for anything else. It's a trusted third party. Now we can add terms and conditions and consideration, which is money, add consideration, which is value, add consideration, which is performance, to the blockchain. And that's what he's talking about. That was Ethereum. The next level blockchain was adding terms and conditions and consideration to these blocks that are being built, this information that's being stored on a public blockchain. So here we go.
I'll give you the money if and only if you repair my roof. This is a contract. This is the story.
Okay, that's perfect setting up. This is a contract, this is a story, this is the way it works. Okay, now he comes up with the solution at 318. Let's go to the solution. 318. I hope I got this right. 350. We'll just start at 315. 312. Okay, here we go. Now here's the solution. This is how he says that blockchain is to operate with Ethereum.
Realm. We're going into the third generation.
I guess third generation is what he's calling Ethereum.
Where we've realized that Ethereum...
No, hold on. That's second generation. Second generation would be Ethereum adding the smart contract to the blockchain. This is the third generation. This would be the part of the generation where we need to get a scalable speed, up to speed, and get it to the point where it actually has enough transactions per second to operate as a trusted third party for all this information that's going to be attached to it.
Ethereum can't scale to millions of users, to billions of users. Ethereum doesn't really have a good developer experience.
Okay, so Ethereum does not have a good developer experience. Ethereum cannot scale to millions of users.
Ethereum and all cryptocurrencies have really a bad governance experience.
They all have a bad governance experience
right now, where every single time there's a major disagreement, instead of finding a way to resolve it, we end up usually seeing things like Ethereum and Ethereum Classic.
Okay, Ethereum and Ethereum Classic, where Ethereum was Ethereum, and then it forked to Ethereum, or Ethereum Classic forked to, or Ethereum. Ethereum Classic is the real Ethereum. Then Ethereum is now the Ethereum, but Ethereum Classic was the original because they forked it. So let's keep going.
Or things like Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. Furthermore, there are big sustainability problems in the space.
Okay, big sustainability problems. Let's keep going.
Namely, after the ICO money is out for a project that's funded this way, or let's say the venture cap.
Okay, now we need to stop. And I want to back that up for a second. Okay, because this is where the real problem lies with this guy. He doesn't understand anything. He is completely in the fog. He is completely in the fog. Listen to what he just said. And I'm going to play it a couple times so you get a chance to hear it.
Ethereum and Ethereum Classic, or things like Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. Furthermore, there are big sustainability problems in the space. Namely...
Okay, he just said there's big sustainability problems in the space. Big sustainability problems, meaning that once you raise the ICO money, there's no money to sustain the project. Listen to this.
After the ICO money is out for...
After the ICO money is out. How much did he raise in his ICO? Launched in 2017 after a $62 million ICO. Charles, what did you do with the $62.2 million? When it runs out and then we need to raise some more money? You know, I was a stockbroker for a number of years. When a company did an initial public offering, an IPO, they were expected to do something with that money. The money was raised from the public through an initial public offering. Stock had never been public before. They raised the money. Then the money that came into the company was supposed to be to make the company profitable, to do something, to grow the company, but to bring back a return. According to Charles, the $62 million is just forgotten. You know, we raised the $62 million. Now we need to think about how to sustain the project. No, Charles, the project should be sustained after you raise the $62 million, okay? The $62 million is for you to build it, get it up and running, and get it sustainable. So there should be some mechanism in your thoughts, in your thinking, that makes your project ready to go after the 62 million. Not that we got a 62 million and now we got to have another round to keep us going. And I'm going to play it one more time so you can hear it straight from his own mouth. That he's got to have more money to keep the thing going after he already raised 62 million. What he did with the 62 million, I don't know. Bought himself a ranch in Colorado, ran around the world, and, and did a bunch of a bunch of weird things. Who knows what he did? I know he interviewed a bunch of people, did some YouTubes, but he done nothing from 2017 when he raised this much money. And this is why I'm so irritated with people like this. I'm so irritated with these valuations, and I'm so irritated with people that think all they need to do is just get up on internet or get up in front of people and tell them we're building it and it's going to be there. And we got 62 million, and now we need to figure out a way to make the thing sustainable. I'd like to know what he did with the 62 million. I'm sure that someday some government regulators are going to want to know what he did with the 62 million too. So Charles, you got the same problem as Richard Hart. You're going to have some people talking to you here sometime in the future. Here we go.
Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. Furthermore, there are big sustainability problems in the space. Namely, after the ICO money is out for a project that's funded this way, or let's say the venture capital runs out.
The venture capital runs out. The ICO money runs out. The 62 million runs out. And now we still don't have a chain. And it's 4 years later, we still don't have a chain, but we still got evaluations well over, 46 billion. But we still need some more money. So, and that leads me to another point. I'm going to make the point now. I was going to make it later in the video, but I'm going to make it right now. I've heard this guy argue vehemently that he's not a security, but he just said he needed to raise money to keep the project going, and he needed to raise money. Okay, needed to raise money. So he's in it for profit. He's in it to raise money. That's a security. The other thing, if you look at the relationship with Charles and Vitalik, the main reason that they split ways early on when they barely knew each other was because Charles wanted he wanted Ethereum to be a for-profit blockchain. Vitalik wanted it to be a not-for-profit. I'm gonna find that here and let you see this. This was the disagreement. Speaking candidly with Friedman, Buterin said he had heard from people close to Hoskinson that Hoskinson had clearly progressed in mature. Okay, I don't want to read that. Where is it that I found that out here? Bear with me for a second. Okay, right here. Buterin wanted to keep Ethereum not for profit, wanted to be a not-for-profit organization. So Vitalik might be smarter than you think, because at age 19, he knew that making it for profit would expose him to the security and exchange rules and regulations of being a security. So Buterin wanted it to keep Ethereum not a non-profit organization with open source decentralized governance. However, Hoskinson wanted to accept venture capital, which he accepted 62 million through an ICO, and create a for-profit entity. In June 2014, Charles Hoskinson left Ethereum. So Charles Hoskinson wanted it to be for-profit. Vitalik wanted it to be non-profit. That's why they split. So now that Hoskinson has raised 62 million and tells you he needs more money to sustain his blockchain, because that's not enough. He's got to keep this going. So he's telling you basically we got to have sustainability issues because we have only raised 62 million. We don't need more. And he's arguing that he's not a security. And he even says from the very beginning, clear back in 2014, that he wanted it to be for profit. So if I give you money for profit, because he wants it for profit, that means you're a security. That means you're in violation of Security and Exchange Commission. That means you need to give back all the money. The 62 million needs to go back to the people that gave it to you, because you have not performed. You have not done what you said you were going to do. You said you were going to launch a chain. You said you were going to run something on a blockchain, and you said you had the ability to do it, and you have not performed. But you've taken 62 million, and now you want more. Now you want sustainability. So I'm going to go on with the rest of the issues that he says as far as this is concerned. So Vitalik wanted not-for-profit. He wants profit, but now he's not a security. He raised 62 million. He's done nothing in 5 years, but he still wants to be thought of as a blockchain innovator and a blockchain builder, but has not released anything. But I think they got something where you can stake something. Anytime you hear staking, run the other direction. So here we go.
Who will fund to grow the chain?
Who will fund to grow the chain? Buddy, you already got 62 million. You need another 62 million to grow the chain? How about another 62 million so you can buy yourself another jet airplane? How about another 62 million so you can give it to your friends, like your buddy Cuban? You can bring him up and wine and dine him on your ranch and tell him how wonderful you are and how wonderful Cardano is. Why don't you do those things? Well, why don't we raise another 62 million so you can just do whatever you want to do, Charles, because you're such a wonderful genius guy. This guy belongs in some college, some nowhere college university, teaching some nowhere math class with driving his old Honda Civic or his and living in his rented house. That's where he belongs, not in front of a project that's worth 60 or what? I keep forgetting because it boggles my mind. $46 billion. Doesn't belong here. He needs to belong in some university teaching some math class. That's where he belongs. Really good. He looks really good in front of a whiteboard. Here we go. Back to Cardano. Okay, here we go.
Fund to actually build out an ecosystem. These are big open questions.
So you need all this money. You know, we built. Hey, Charles, let me tell you something, buddy. We built without any ICO money. We built an operational application running currently on the EOS blockchain without any ICO money. We didn't raise any money from anybody. We did it on our own, with our own money and our own brain power. We didn't have to go to the public and get 62 million and then turn around and say we didn't get enough money. So here we go. So these are the kind of guys that are driving blockchain right now. And these are the kind of guys that need to step aside for people that really want to build something and not for people that want to talk about building something and talk about how, you know, the little ICO money that they raised isn't sustainable. $62 million. What could you do with 62 million? Anybody listening, please tell me in the comments. What could you do with 62 million?
The third generation is all about three topics. One is scalability.
Okay, the first topic is scalability.
Two is interoperability.
Interoperability.
And finally, there's this notion of sustainability.
And of course, sustainability is where you always need the money. It needs more money for sustainability. So these are the three things.
So the Cardano project is really our philosophy,
Okay, what is the Cardano project? Charles, we've been waiting 5 years to hear this. Tell us what it is. You're saying the same thing. You got to look at this video. It was made in 2017. We are now 2021, and nothing has changed. Nothing has changed except for the fact for the last 4 or 5 years, Charles has had a pretty good lifestyle. He had a really nice lifestyle. Really lived it up well. Probably worth $1 billion, if not more. Just like Vitalik. Vitalik's done very well too. Worth $1 billion. Let me tell you, these guys are not flying coach going anywhere around the world. They're flying in their private, first class, whatever it is, and they're doing everything they want to do. They're living the life of people that very few people in this existence in this world have ever lived. They're living the life of luxury because of the work that they were supposed to do that they've never done.
Vision on how to solve each of these categories in a way that we feel is going to inherit the best features and lessons learned from generation 1 and generation 2.
Okay, so now he's going to go into his real malarkey. Let me see if I can go to 442. Okay, I'm going to run it a little bit because he's going to go into how to fix this problem, scalability, interoperability. And this, of everything I've said so far, this is probably the craziest thing yet. So pay attention to what he's about ready to say. This is the craziest thing yet.
But also add a lot of new concepts and technology to the space. And
okay, and I got to skip forward. And he's going to add a lot of new technology. And then this is the way. I can't play too much of this at one time, but I got to keep breaking it. But let's go. And this is how Cardano solves the problems. Cardano solves the problems.
This project is built with some really good principles, namely two. First,
okay, here's the two principles of Cardano that are so valuable that we need to spend hundreds of millions of dollars on it, and he needs to become a billionaire over. Okay, here we go.
Off all the science that guides the solutions to these problems goes through some notion of peer review.
Okay, so that's his solution. So he's going to build a blockchain that's going to solve the world's problems. It's going to be a trusted third party to have everything, every contract in the world be able to be run on as a trusted third party. And it's going to do it through peer review. Did you hear me, people? Peer review. What does that mean? What does that mean?
So we go to conferences.
We go to conferences. Okay, you're going to run $1 billion blockchain or $1 trillion blockchain from conferences.
Right. Proper scientific.
And we're going to have proper scientific what? Proper scientific
papers. We engage.
Proper scientific papers, and we're going to engage.
Universities.
And we're going to engage with universities. That's what I said. This guy should be a college professor somewhere in some nowhere place, middle of nowhere, teaching some introductory algebra class. That's where he belongs.
And all the engineering, we have the goal to eventually implement as high assurance code.
Okay, and through this peer review, we're going to have high assurance code, of which we've been waiting 5 years for.
Which means...
There you go. I mean, he even puts the old slash on the chalkboard. He's got it all figured out. There he is. Mr. Hawkinson's got it figured out. Peer review, scientific, we're going to have the best professors and colleges and universities taking a look at this. That's this guy's solution for building a blockchain that's going to run DeFi. That's his solution. That's his solution. That's why nothing's happened in 5 years. Because generally when you have peer review, what do? You open it for discussion. My idea of an education was to open up the ideas, not to come up with solutions, but to expound on the thinking and never have a solution, because you just want to keep growing thinking, but you don't ever arrive at a conclusion. And that's what he's done. He's opened this up to peer review, which is everybody we can debate it forever. And as long as he becomes a billionaire and he continues to keep this thing going and continues to have this thing go up in a value and can continue to increase the market cap, he could care less. We'll just keep it in peer review forever. But we'll never build what we say we're going to build. We'll never build DeFi. We'll never unlock the world's resources. We'll never have smart contracts to unlock all the equity in the world and have anything run, because it's all going to be in peer review, because this guy's got the idea that all he needs to do is go to conferences and put it up to scientific review papers, and that somehow this is going to... Now, that's from his own words, people. I'm not making this stuff up. He's telling you from his own words.
The same types of techniques one would see with the Shinkansen or a jet engine, where when the...
Oh my God, now he's throwing a jet engine. So the review that they put through a jet engine is the same kind of review as this guy's crazy. He's just crazy.
Failure of the system results in human death.
And now he's got to really put it dramatic. Human death. No, just build your fucking blockchain, okay, man?
We can apply those techniques to our protocols, engineering and development, so that we have a much higher belief in the quality of the code.
Oh my God. Can you believe this shit that this guy's spewing? Can you believe it? Can you believe the shit this guy spews? I mean, I guess I should believe it, because it's right here in front of me. Right there it is. Black and white, 46 billion. Black and white. I don't know what to tell you, man. I can't continue with this kind of crap. I mean, a problem with the market like this, it's good for a little bit, then it goes back because everybody realizes it never got built. So yeah, we'll have a big heyday here for a few months. Maybe it'll run up to 100,000 Bitcoin. Maybe it'll go up to 100,000. Hell, Cardano could go up to $5-10. Who knows? But then they're going to figure out, but yeah, I guess it didn't run. Oh my God, we didn't get it going. Just like we didn't get 2.0 Ethereum going. In the meantime, Cardano runs around in his jet airplanes. So does Vitalik. They all have a lot of fun. In the meantime, nothing gets built. So that's the world of blockchain today. We got bullshit artists running the show, and this is bullshit artist number one right here. Bullshit, Charles. Bullshit. That's what I say to you. Bullshit. Bullshit. Stop the bullshit and build something. Okay. So that's my rant for today. So if you think I'm bitter and I'm ranting, there you go. I just gave it to you. Let's take a look at the comments. See if there's anything else here I need to cover. And see what happens. I get rid of this screen. Don't need to look at the markets anymore. Probably can close this out too. Don't need to see that anymore. And let's make myself a little bit bigger. Go back to this screen. Okay, there you go. So there we covered Charles Hoskinson. So if you ever wondered about Cardano, you can watch all the Coin Bureau you want to watch. The Coin Bureau guy that I watch, who made a video that, he's got over 1 million subscribers. I have 5,000 subscribers. He has over 1 million. So those guys are really popular. I'm not popular. I'm just a guy that we're just people that build what we say we're going to build and do what we say we're going to do. That's all we do. But he's a Coin Bureau guy. Here, I'll show you Coin Bureau. He made a video, made over 1 million views. And it was like, what is their, what is his portfolio? And I think he owns Cardano. So watch him. He'll tell you all about Cardano. Don't listen to me. Here, I'll show you this. I can spell bureau right. This is the guy. Sometimes I use it. We've got 1.21 million subscribers. I have 5,000. And he makes all these price potentials. He you know, he's drank the Kool-Aid too. Talking about Robin. These aren't his latest videos. Let me see if I can find his latest videos. Yeah, here's talking about 8.0. Watch this. Cardano prediction. I'm reading a couple because I'm looking for one particular, but I don't see it here. Anyway, he has his portfolio. So whatever he invests in, he tells you what it is. I think that it had an amazing amount of views. I'm not seeing it right as I speak. But anyway, he gives pretty much the party line. If you want to listen to that Kool-Aid, you can. And hey, the bottom line is, you know, it's working. You know, it's like, I don't know what to do sometimes, because part of me says, hey, you know, people are making lots of money, you know, and there's no place else to go. You think this is a shit show? Why don't you try the stock market? I mean, you really want to listen to some fools. Listen to some of the guys in the stock market. Look at some of the publicly traded companies. You think Charles Hawkinson's a bullshit artist? You haven't heard nothing yet till you heard some of the people that are running the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange stocks. Those are some of the best bullshit artists there ever is. So part of me says, shut up, don't say anything, because ignorance is bliss. These things are working. Cardano's making a lot of people a lot of money. Ethereum's making a lot of people a lot of money. I mean, I've made money on Ethereum. You know, I made money on, like I said, I refuse to buy Cardano just because I have such an inner hatred of the university system. I just do, because I've been punished by the university system, by years of school without any return, and going to school and expecting to get something out of it and getting nothing out of it. So I refuse to go through that route of peer review papers and scientific research and all that, because I benefited zero by going to college. Benefited zero. I've benefited enormously by living life. And benefited zero by going to college. I don't want to go through peer review. I do not want to go through, the evaluation of a college professor. I have college professors that gave me very poor grades in college. And they never did anything in the real world, but they were able to evaluate me and tell me I'm not a very good student. So, you know, a lot of pain thinking about college peer review papers. I don't want to hear that anymore. I wrote papers in college that I thought were pretty good. They were just as good as the A+ papers, but for some reason I didn't get the love that the other college students got. So I'm not going to go back to the college thing. It's just too ugly for me. So anyway, let me read a few comments. Okay. What's this? This is live. Oh, that's me on my live stream. I don't want to do that. Get out of that. That's me on my live stream. Let's go to the comments. Okay. So, oh my gosh, I got a bunch of them. In escrow selling. Hi, how you doing? Game Shark Boy? I'm sorry, Guam Shark Boy. I was mining in 2010, wasn't worth the electricity. Paul Young Jr., Visible Light. Hey, Kent. Hey, how you doing? You're 19. Well, congratulations. I was 19 one time too. I don't remember it, but I was. Yes, we are moving to Telos. We're not going to move to Telos. We're going to run both EOS and Telos. So we'll be running on two blockchains. I'd love to run on a Cardano. I mean, if Charles would ever get his act together, we'd run on Cardano. We'd run on ADA. I mean, I'm still holding hope for the guy. That but I don't think so. I mean, it's already been 5 years and 62 million, and probably another bunch of billions raised other places. So yeah, I'm not holding a lot of love for Charles, but yeah, we'd run on Cardano. We'll run anywhere, any blockchain in the world that we feel like is beneficial for our application. I got a question, Ken. Is Bitcoin a good thing for me at 19? Start investing in my. Oh my God, son. You don't even know what a good idea Bitcoin is. Oh God, I wish I had Bitcoin when I was your age. Yes, at 19, my friend, please buy some Bitcoin. Buy as much as you can. I don't even care if it's, small amounts, $10, $20, $50. Every dime you get, throw it into Bitcoin. Okay, he can't give you financial advice. Yeah, that's true. I can't give you financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm speaking in my opinion, only in my opinion. My opinion is only good for me, not for you. But in my opinion, I would buy every penny I could get. Thanks. We can still have opinions in this world, even though people like to put disclaimers on everything. Yes, everything in this video is my opinion. That is the disclaimer. That's all I need to say. Because in the real world, we do have something called the First Amendment, which is the freedom of speech and the right to express ourselves and say our own opinions, as long as it's not inflammatory and as long as it's not slanderous or it doesn't cause somebody, financial grief or something like that. But the problem is a person like Charles Hoskinson or all these other people are called public figures. So all bets are off when you have a public figure. If you have a public figure, now they're open to criticism, like the President of the United States. You could say good things about him. You could say bad things about him. But if you say something bad about him, like he's an awful guy or, as long as it's not something like, you want to hurt him, you can say all the bad things you want to say about him. But, as long as you don't threaten him or threaten his physical person, you're safe to do that because it's called the First Amendment. Looks like I can criticize Ethereum. I can criticize Vitalik. I can criticize Cardano. It's called the First Amendment. So yeah, we have a right to do that. First Amendment. I had to learn all this stuff one time in one of my worthless, useless times in law school. So yeah, I can give you financial advice, but I got to say it's my opinion. Okay. Yeah, not financial advice. Hopefully 10 years later, you'll be well and happy. I hope I'm alive 10 years from now, after what I've been through, my friend. How did Cardano get a 46 billion market cap? Unbelievable. My sentiments exactly. And like I say, people think I'm bitter for making these videos. I'm not bitter. I'm just discovering. The more I discover, the more I can't believe it. It's like I'm sitting there going, well, of course they got something going on. I got to look at this over and see if I'm reading this closely. So 10 videos later and reading about 3 or 4 articles and listening to about 3 or 4 other people say, I'm thinking, man, it is right. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. That's all they've done to be worth 46 billion. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Visible light says it perfectly. Telos kills Cardano because Telos is running. It's the fastest blockchain in the world. Yeah, 36 million. Yeah, transactions. Yeah. Yeah, visible light. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so far everything looks pretty. Yes, thanks, Chase. Chase just made a comment. I was watching a video. Thanks, Chase. Misinvestments. And we do have a Friday ask any question you want on Facebook. I'll probably post the one from this last week on the end of this video. So if you want to watch it, then let's do that. Of course, we are the challenge application. You can download it in the App Store, unlike Cardano. You can download it in Google Play, unlock Cardano. We actually exist. You can actually do a challenge with somebody and earn some cryptocurrency and expand the crypto world. That's what we're trying to do. Expand the crypto world, not hoard the crypto world. Guys like Vitalik and Cardano, they're living very nice lifestyles because they're hoarding the potential that has been given to them. They've been given a great, vast investment of hundreds of millions of dollars, not billions. And they've taken that and squandered it by just wasting it and not doing anything. And that's the reason for this video, because people like us are trying to expand it and do something with it. We're trying to better the world with trusted third parties that are going to help you have a better life. If you have equity in something and you need to release that equity and you can do it through a trusted third party on the blockchain, inexpensively and very freely, you might have a better life than going through a third party like a bank. That's a centralized system that has rules and procedures that's going to keep you from unlocking whatever potential you have. We're trying to make it so you can, when that potential gets unlocked. And that's what the blockchain is about. It's about expanding potentials, not hoarding them and keeping them to yourself and keeping your billions to yourself and having a nice lifestyle. And then just talk about the anticipation. There's an anticipation play here, and that's what Charles is playing. He's playing he doesn't want to ever release anything, because if for fear of releasing it, he might be exposed. You can't get exposed. So you just got to keep it under wraps. Like, we're going to do it. It's right around the corner. We're raising a little more money. We're going to have this next little feature like Ethereum did here a week ago. We got another feature where we're going to get rid of a few of our Ether. But, you know, it's right around the corner. So it's going to scale here real fast. Just keep with us. Just keep with us. That's hoarding. That's not expanding. That's not making the universe better. That's actually making the universe tightly held within a few people, like Vitalik, Charles Hoskinson, Gavin Woods. These people are holding it together. They're holding the money together. They're all a group of people that started the thing. They were first movers. So now they're getting together and they're hoarding it all up together. They don't want to expand it and give it out to the rest of the world. You know, they want to keep it to themselves and keep everybody else, you know, stupid while they sit there and tell you that they're doing something. Hopiums. Yeah, I love that. Hopiums. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Hex did 1,400 since its launch. I told you, I don't care if Hex did 20 million since it's launched. It has zero development. You know, it's like everything else. You mean you can only keep the balls in the air so long before one of them falls to the ground. And then once one of the balls, if you're a juggler, you're going to juggle till you get tired. And when one of those things you're juggling falls to the ground, the whole thing falls apart. And that's what's going to happen with Hex and all these other projects, because they have nothing behind them. So yeah, few comments here. I appreciate everybody commenting. Like I say, I'm going to make a challenge for this video, so you can know how challenge works and get a few of our tokens for watching. Make a comment below. I'll make a challenge on our challenge application. Simply go to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store and download the app. It's called Challenge, CHALLENGE, and it's EOS, Challenge EOS. Download the app. And then once you do that, click on this video, because I'm going to post this video on that app, and then just make a screenshot on this video with the comment, and then screenshot it, send it to me, and I'll give you 500 challenge tokens for free. And then you do whatever you want. You can move them off of our application, do whatever you want with them. It's entirely up to you. Yeah, I don't even want to get into EOS today, because I've covered Cardano pretty well here. So I don't even want to talk about EOS, but EOS is a solution to the problem. The problem with EOS is that EOS actually did follow through and launched, and now they became a target because they actually did launch. And the real problem here is the trusted third party. What is a trusted third party? Some people feel like the only way a trusted third party can be is that it's got to be completely decentralized. So in other words, everything is blind. We don't know who the validators are. We don't know who the block producers are. They're just anybody that's racing to complete a puzzle or complete a transaction. And the first people to do it get paid in, like a Bitcoin miner does. The problem is in the real world, everything has some anonymity to it, and some things that are public. In EOS, we have 21 block producers. And of course, everybody knows who those are, and they're voted in by the token holders. People will say that because we have 21 and we know who they are and they're pre-selected, and that's why the blockchain is so fast, that's centralized. My opinion is it's only centralized because you know who they are, but the blockchain itself is public. So everything these block producers do is public. It's not hidden. It's not like a bank. A lot of things the banks do, centralized banks, are hidden. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors with the Federal Reserve System. We don't know who owns the Federal Reserve System. We don't know anything about the Federal Reserve System. We don't know anything about who owns the people, or who owns the system that sets monetary and fiscal policy in the United States of America. We don't know who they are. We don't know it's a bank. We do know it's a private bank. Private bank. We don't know who it is, but it's not public. In EOS, we know who the block producers are. We know everything in the blockchain is public. We know every transaction is public. So it's all exposed. So to me, it's trusted enough because we know who they are and we know it's public and it's trusted enough. Yeah, the SEC needs to look into Cardano, a delisting as they should have it. You, my friend, are exactly right. Neil Robertson. I appreciate that. Yeah. I've heard Charles argue vehemently that he's not a security. But when you're telling Vitalik in 2014, we want to be for profit, buddy. We're not going to be non-for-profit. We want to be for profit. And in the meantime, you raise 62 million, and you need sustainability problems. We raised 62 million, but we have sustainability problems. I mean, that's funny. If I had $62 million, last thing I'd be crying about is how I didn't get any money. And I need to have some more to keep going. I'd probably be keeping my mouth shut and be thankful for what I got and try to make something happen as fast as I could. See, that's the way a rational person thinks. I need to make some value happen pretty quick for these people that just threw me 62 million, or they're going to get pissed off, and I'm going to be looking down the barrel of or I'm going to be looking behind, I'm going to be looking at the inside of a jail cell. But no, not Charles. He's out there just, shooting his mouth off, telling everybody how he's not a security and how important he is, and how he's got this, his peer review papers and all his connections with governments and colleges and all this other stuff is going to save the day. Well, we'll see, my friend. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, these bureaucrats and these people working for the Security and Exchange Commission, they don't exactly like seeing this lavish lifestyle that you got, my friend. And let me tell you, they got the resources of the United States government behind them, and they will spend every penny of it, of every taxpayer money, which is way more money than you can find. They'll go after you, my friend, and they will find you wherever you hide, whatever rock, whatever shallow, cave you hide in, Mr. Cardano. They will find you. They will find you. They're going to get their 62 million out of you. Okay, buddy? So yeah, just keep it going, laughing boy. Yeah, Neil, thanks for appreciate the comment. So anyway, I better sign off. It's getting almost 11:30 at night. And yeah, it'll have to be sorted out. And my thing is hey, what's going to happen? I mean, obviously Cardano's not going to ever do anything. I doubt that Ethereum ever does anything. EOS is already a solution, but nobody likes it. So will something else in the meantime take its place? Or will EOS rise to the occasion, or Telos rise to the occasion? Something's going to happen, but I can tell you right now what's going to happen. What's not going to happen? What's not going to happen is you're not going to see Cardano do anything. It's not going to. If it hasn't happened with 62 million in 5 years, how's it going to happen in the next 6 months to another year? And we need it badly, and people are demanding it, and the investment community is demanding it. They're demanding scalability. Yeah, securities are hinting to look into Ethereum and start. Yeah, I think that's I think Ethereum could be a big place for the SEC to start. Now Vitalik's kind of gotten to be a cult hero, so I don't know if they're going to go after Ethereum. Yeah, Hexam Plus, yeah, because people like Vitalik, and probably Vitalik's not the worst guy in the world. I mean, he wanted to keep Ethereum public and wanted to make it into open source. That's why people trust him, although he's done nothing. But I see him distancing himself more and more all the time from Ethereum and 2.0. And now he wants to be the elder statesman. So, but the guys are worth $1 billion. So, he's got to perform somewhat. You can't just run away scot-free here. Something's got to happen. So anyway, we'll see what happens. But anyway, stay tuned. There'll be more. I appreciate you watching. Thank you.